My husband, 35, and I, female 30, have been married for the past 10 years, and we have 5 amazing daughters together. Because of that, I dropped out of college to be a stay-at-home mom for the past 10 years when we had our oldest daughter. My husband is the breadwinner, and I take care of all the chores and childcare. While my husband earns quite a bit of money, allowing us to live comfortably, he's also obsessed with budgeting. Thus, I typically only have enough for household expenses. For the past 5 years, I've been working on a series of books. I've been writing everywhere I could, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And while I sacrificed a lot of sleep, I have managed to finish my series, unbeknownst to my husband. I kept it a secret because he always considered it a waste of time. It was tough, but I got an agent and was incredibly lucky to get a deal to publish my series. I was ecstatic, and when they told me how big my advance would be, I almost fainted. It's much more than I expected for a first-time deal. It's in the higher 5 digits. I haven't told my husband yet, and I had to borrow money from my sister to get an accountant. Ideally, I want that money saved up should something happen, because I honestly don't know the details of our home finances or our kids' future. Whatever will be needed. Plus, I would love to have some spending money without asking my husband, Greg. However, Greg found my contract, and he's now demanding I give him a new car for Christmas. A very expensive new car, which would cost the majority of my advance. I politely refused, saying that he didn't need a car that expensive and that the money was supposed to be saved up. I tried to explain my position, but he wouldn't have it. He basically called me an idiot without actually using the word. He said that because he's supported me all these years, I owe him, and without him and his money, I wouldn't be where I am now. He's told me that either I buy him a car or I have to start paying for household expenses, half and half. The thing is, I would still be an at-home mom. I don't know if my book will succeed. For all I know, this will be the only money I will ever get from my book deal because it'll flop. Am I the idiot for not wanting to buy my husband a car, even though I have the money? Holy crap, probably the most solid not the idiot I've ever given here. Good God, your husband is not only the idiot in this instance, but I'm also getting major general idiot vibes. If your family's household finances are separate, he had zero right to demand you foot the bill for a huge, non-essential purchase. However, if your finances are considered by both of you to be pooled, I question why he only allows you the bare minimum to cover household essentials. Even putting aside the 10-gallon bucket of marinara that is him demanding a freaking thing from the money you earned, doing something he crapped in your Cheerios about in the first place, I have a massive concern as to why you don't know anything about your family's finances. It's not uncommon for one person to be the designated money manager in the relationship, but that does not negate your right and responsibility to know what the hell is going on with any and all accounts for your family. He's an entitled brat at best and perpetuating financial abuse at worst, and my money is on the latter. And yet he seems to have forgotten that you also supported him in raising his kids, taking care of your house, probably cooking, cleaning. You owe him nothing. Please don't surrender to his mental game. Total up 10 years of personal chef, maid, nanny to 5 kids, and household manager. Pretty darn sure it would equate to more than his salary. He is being manipulative beyond words, so I hope you not only don't give in to his demands, but also stand up and take no more of this kind of crap from him. Yes, who really wanted all these kids so close together? Not just 5 kids, but 5 daughters. I believe somebody wants a boy. I can only imagine how differently his daughters will be treated from his long-awaited son, if he happens to have one. OP, hold your horses, because that advance ain't all yours. High 5 figures might seem great, but you have a lot of money that will come out of that advance. Agents get 15%. The government gets a percentage from taxes. And guess what? You're self-employed, and now you get to pay Medicare and Social Security all by yourself. Only about 45% of any advance goes to the author. Best of luck to you. My 29 male, wife 30, and my best friend Cyan, 25 male, do not see eye to eye. Some backstory. My wife and I moved for my new job. Cyan was the cousin of a high school friend, so I was thrilled to know someone. We quickly became best friends, closer than brothers. During the global issue, our job was in person versus my wife's work from home. Cyan is a very kind person. However, I think my wife hated everything about Cyan. She thought he was too goofy and hated how he teased her. My wife takes things seriously, and she's a romantic, so date nights are a big deal to her. She hated when Cyan hung out, even when I invited him. A few months ago, I had a 4-month project across the world. I needed the promotion. My wife ended up needing surgery, and she, unlike me, didn't make close friends here. Her friends and fam were too far. She couldn't do normal things post-surgery and wanted me to come back. I complained to Cyan, and he suggested he pop over to help her. He did a lot more, and my wife relied heavily on his kindness. When I came back, it was like my wife flipped her switch. Things that were immature became playful. She constantly fell for his fish for compliments, and it was like Cyan could do no wrong. Cyan still hung out, but he couldn't snap out of caretaker mode. The two of them are practically joined at the hip. When I went to work, my wife packed Cyan a lunch too, and his lunch is a lot better than hers or mine. Cyan needs this or that or whatever. She showers him with attention. My wife can be overbearing like that. At a small party, I came with my wife, and she immediately zoomed to Cyan and monopolized all his time. After he went to the bathroom, which was basically the only time she left him alone, I pulled him aside and I told him I knew my wife was clingy and that it was okay if he kept boundaries. He wasn't obliged to hang around my wife. I said it kindly. He turned red, told me I was an idiot, and stormed away. He left without saying goodbye to anybody but my wife. Am I the idiot? I told some mutual friends about this, and most of them were on my side. They said Cyan didn't know how to stand up for himself. He was embarrassed. Cyan is still angry. It kind of sounds like both you and your wife are in love with Cyan. Do you know if something romantic happened between them while you were away? I think you are the idiot. This story has a lot of U-turns, but ultimately, you seem to be angry because somebody, I'm not sure who to be honest, is not giving you enough attention. This literally made me chuckle and is spot on. OP isn't content unless he's the center of attention. Main character syndrome. He was fine when he was being fought over for attention. Question: do you actually like your wife? Because of the way you talk about her, I question why you're married to her. Don't get me wrong, she deserves way better than you, but why do you stay? First of all, who invites a friend to their date night with their spouse? You realize that just kills the vibe of it and makes it awkward. She wanted to spend time alone with you. This is a situation that you set up entirely for yourself, and they have a relationship that you promoted and indeed forced by pushing them together while you were away. Your wife is in serious need of help. She had no choice over who could help her. You made it. You're an idiot for whining about it and trying to split her new bond apart for your own needs. I, 21 female, had my sister, 18, over for the past 3 days as she was fully renovating her apartment that she got for her 18th 3 weeks ago and couldn't stand being there when it was being renovated. It was to last for 6 days, and she said she would be out most of the time for school or with friends. She doesn't want to go to our parents' home as she can't stand any more interventions from our father, as she was not supposed to move in until school finishes, though she played the I'm 18 card. I allowed her to stay for this short period, and it wouldn't be inconvenient as we all live less than 2 miles away. My boyfriend, 22, and I live together, and he adores my sister, even though she is, according to him, a bad influence. I have to attend classes most of my days, so I'm not here from the morning till the afternoon or evening. My boyfriend is doing an internship right now, so he's not always home, but he's there more than me. For most of her life, my sister would always walk out of the shower and wouldn't care about who would see her naked. One of our bathrooms that she conveniently uses is in our bedroom. You have to go into our room and walk past it to the bathroom. My boyfriend finishes early on Mondays, and my sister comes home earlier than expected. I usually head home quickly as we want to spend our free time together, though my sister had other plans. According to my boyfriend, she went straight into our shower as soon as she came home while he was lying down on our bed. She was crying loudly in the shower and proceeded to walk out of the shower, no robe or towel, and back in as she forgot something 3 times. After finding this out, I proceeded to terminate her stay. She called me unreasonable and an insecure freak. My parents also put me at fault for making her break down as she returned to our parents' house. My boyfriend has informed me that I overreacted and he just wanted me to tell her to stop doing that as it was bizarre. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your house, your rules. Do you buy the whole breakdown thing? Also, why is she using your ensuite bathroom, not the guest one, and causing drama? Was she really crying in the shower? Or was it all a ruse to get your boyfriend to comfort her? She didn't get the reaction she wanted the first walkthrough, so she did it repeatedly, hoping to get the attention she wanted. Then if OP walks in while he's comforting her, she can play the victim and say boyfriend was trying to take advantage of her. Like the saying, once is an accident, 2 is a coincidence, and 3 is a pattern. It is possible, but it feels more like an I'm 18 and hotter than my sister, and I want to see that. The whole story gives sister giving off pick me vibes. Also, he could have just told her to use the guest bathroom as soon as she came in, wanting to use theirs. OP, ask your boyfriend how he would feel if his brother or friend did that. Would he be okay with that? Would that be considered an overreaction? Clearly your sister wanted to flirt or try to get a reaction from your boyfriend, but she didn't expect to get thrown out into the streets, LOL. And I'm sure your parents are mad because they raised a loose woman who tried to flirt with her sister's boyfriend and are now stuck with her again at the house. I'm a 32-year-old male and my wife is a 33-year-old female. We got married during COVID, and last week we took our first family vacation with all the kids. We share custody with our exes. I have 2 boys from my first marriage, young children, and my wife has 1 boy from hers, 1 year older. The boys get along great. In addition, we have a baby together, a toddler girl. On our vacation, we took dozens of pics of the kids. Then I told my sons to pose for their mom. We were away for 10 days, and she asked me for a picture of the boys. My wife got mad and said I shouldn't exclude my stepson. I told her I'd take a picture of all the kids as well. I just have to take one of my sons for my ex, their mom. I took the picture and sent it to my ex. Then we took a bunch more pics of all the kids, and we had for days before. When the kids were asleep later, my wife confronted me about the picture I took of my sons, and I told her I didn't think it was a big deal. I've taken a bunch of pics of all the kids, of just our girl, of just the boys, of the kids individually, etc. She said I'm excluding her son, and I told her that wasn't true. I love my stepson and she knows it. She then yelled at me and said he, my stepson, has enough issues with his dad and shouldn't have to beg for his stepdad's love as well. I told her I thought she was really overreacting. It was just 1 picture, and none of the kids even gave it a second thought, so we ended up having a fight. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I agree she's overreacting. Why would your ex want a photo of someone else's kid? I understand that she wants to protect her son, especially if he has a deadbeat dad, but your sons have a mom who wants pictures of her kids. I wonder if there's a deeper issue here as to why a single photograph would set her off. It sounds like she wants to make a crazy point to your ex about her and her son being your priority now, not your ex. She's definitely jealous. Question though, why did she not mention the baby being excluded? There may be some other issues here. I don't think it's about his ex. It's about hers. She's taking her anger out on OP because his kid's other parent is decent and involved, and her kid's other parent has issues. The comment about begging for stepdad's love as well is really revealing. She wanted to play happy family, And acknowledging OP's ex for even the length of one photo ruined that. She has issues with her ex and how he treats his biological son. So seeing a healthy co-parenting relationship caused a jealous reaction because she wants but doesn't have one. This is about her, not her child. I've been with the company for 6 years now. We are very informal with each other and have a fairly laid-back culture. The company president is Dave and my boss is Lou. I tell employees who call me Mr. Smith, fake name, that my name is Dennis and that there is no need for formality. We recently hired a new employee. The fake name I will give her for this post is Jenny Potter. In coming on board with us, Jenny signed all her emails to Mrs. Potter. When she answers the phone, it's, "Good afternoon, this is Mrs. Potter speaking." When she calls me, it's, "Good morning, Dennis, this is Miss Potter." And my response is always, "Good morning, Jenny, how can I help you?" If I send an email to Jenny, the response is signed by Miss Potter, emphasis hers. She's 3 levels below me in a different line of reporting in terms of the company hierarchy, so her supervisor's boss reports to someone on the same level as me, if that makes sense. It got back to me that she thinks I'm disrespectful for not calling her Miss Potter when I speak to her. When I spoke to others about it, most stated that they just ignore it, don't use a name to address her, respond to her queries, and let her call herself whatever she wants. My boss thinks it's idiotic and that she's not at any level within the company to demand that. When I told my wife, she replied that it was obviously a button for this woman and that I was being an idiot by antagonizing her. My counterpoint to this is that nobody in the company gets addressed formally, and if I don't call my boss or his boss by anything but their first names, I'm not going to formally address another employee several layers down the hierarchy. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. She's being very polite about how she wants to be addressed. You're crapping all over it. She wants to be called Miss. Call her Ms. Your position doesn't excuse this behavior. In fact, it makes it worse. She's not below you. You are not above her. You're both human beings. She's not being that polite by demanding she's addressed with an honorific when no one else is. She's demanding she be addressed with more respect than anyone else at the company. Asking someone to refer to you as Mr. or Mrs. when everyone is on a first name basis is the same as asking someone to call you sir or ma'am. So yeah, his position is relevant because she's asking him to verbally refer to her as his superior when he speaks to her, even though she's dramatically inferior to him at the company. Disagree. It's about boundaries, not hierarchy. Maybe she likes to keep it formal so she can draw a line between private affairs and work-related stuff, or she simply isn't comfortable being called by her first name. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. OP, don't you have more important things to tend to other than gossiping about coworkers and being a blabbermouth? Honestly, you sound exhausting to be around. He's insufferable, clearly. OP, you are minimizing a grown woman. Who cares what her position is? Her name is Miss Potter. You don't know her personally. She's not giving you permission to call her by her first name. Agree or not, it's disrespectful. She's given you respect. Why won't you reciprocate? So is she, to be honest. Arriving in a new workplace and demanding things that are pretty out of the ordinary and unnecessary is also insufferable. Sure, it takes no effort for him to just call her Miss Potter, but it also takes no effort for her to just drop it.